is the 5th installment of my makeup declutter. Today we're going to go through my blushes. Now blushes are my favorite makeup product. I absolutely love them. I cannot get enough of blushes. Whenever I go to the beauty counter, Sephora, the Bay, I always gravitate towards the blushes in any makeup brand. So I will admit that getting rid of blushes gives me a little bit of anxiety. I store my blushes the same way I store my highlighters and bronzers, which you guys would have seen in my last decluttering video. But like I mentioned in that video, I have decided to switch up my makeup organization for these products. I wanted to switch them into clear Muji drawers because I find that it's a lot easier for me to use products when I can see them, and having those clear acrylic drawers is one, really aesthetically pleasing, and two, really does help me to actually use my products because I can see them more regularly. Now as I was gathering my blushes to do this declutter, I realized that I was missing quite a few, probably around 8 or 10. I realized after some thinking that I had actually lent those blushes to my mom within the past year or so. So I am just going to make it official and give those blushes to my mom because over the past year I haven't really felt the urge to call her up and say, hey, do you still have that blush? I kind of want to use it today. That being said, there was only one blush, which I'm going to show you right now, that I remember my mom had that I actually do really love. For whatever reason, while I was gathering up my blushes, I just immediately remembered this blush and I was looking for it everywhere. So this is a Dior blush. This is actually discontinued now. They've replaced it with a new blush formulation. This one was the glowing color powder blush. It's actually the one that has like the duo colors. And this is in Pink in Love. As you can see, it has kind of like a rosy color here and then a lighter pink here. Absolutely love this blush just swirled together. It just gives your cheeks a beautiful glow. And you will see as we go through the decluttering footage that apparently I have a tendency to break these blush compacts right here at the corner where the hinge is. There's probably like 3 or 4 blushes that I have, including this one, that I've done that to. Anyway, even without the collection of blushes that I have given to my mom, I still have quite a few blushes to share with you guys, so let's get on with the declutter. I did my best to group my blushes together either by brand or by type, so I will start with the palettes first. These are my blush palettes. So as you can see, some of these are, you know, depotted blushes, and then others are actual palettes. I'll start with the palettes themselves first. So this is the NARS Danmari palette. This is the very first NARS blush palette that they produced in this like format. I think they originally brought this out in 2011, so like 4 years ago now. Absolutely love this palette to this day. It is the palette that I typically bring with me when I'm traveling because it has essentially everything I need. It does look like I haven't used it a lot, but I actually do. But NARS products are just so well made and very pigmented that I actually just don't have to use a lot of the product. I will say though that I hardly ever touch the bronzer. This is NARS Casino, and whenever I travel I typically just bring an additional bronzer with me, so I rarely go for this one, but all of the other ones, even this highlighter, I do love a lot. This is the Napolean Purdis contour and highlight set. This is actually a product that I got from Target a little while ago. It was Target in the States and it was like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know why I don't reach for it more because the powders are actually really nice and they're finely milled and they're pigmented. So I'm going to keep this and I'm going to make a mental effort to use it because I do like the products. A Uemura blush palette that I created. Absolutely obsessed with these colors. As you know, with Uemura, the blushes come in pans and then you have to buy the containers or the packaging separately. So I just decided I would do 2 blushes in one. I feel like that whole system is very cumbersome, but I really like Uemura's blushes. This is like a rosy plum color and this is like a peach color. They work so beautifully together or alone, so I love this palette. I'm definitely keeping it. My MAC blush palette. I love this palette a lot. There's only one blush in here that I'm going to say goodbye to, and it's not because I don't love it, but because the formulation is a little bit off now. And it's this one here. This is frankly Scarlet. I just popped the insert out so I could show you guys the blushes a little bit better. So this one is Blushbaby. This is Melba. This one is Fleur Power, Desert Rose, Pincho Peach, and this is Frankly Scarlet. So Frankly Scarlet is the one I'm going to say goodbye to. I'm not sure if you can tell, you probably can because it's really noticeable. I actually ruined this palette. I dropped it and it shattered, and I tried to piece it back together using the good old alcohol trick, but the application is just not what it used to be, and for such a pigmented blush, I really want the application to be seamless. So I'm going to say goodbye to this, not because I don't love the color, but because I ruined it and it just isn't like it used to be. But all of these other colors I really love, so I'm going to keep them. And even though it bugs me to no end that there's one empty one here, I'm going to try not to fill it because I have a lot of other blushes that I need to use up before I buy new ones. This is my last little blush palette. Again, the actual container is from MAC. These are all deboxed Benefit box powders. I just find the boxes to be a little bit too cumbersome to have in my collection, and it was just easier to use the products when they were all in one place. So this one is Dandelion. This is Georiga. I think both of these are discontinued now. This one is Coralista, Sugarbomb, Dallas, and this is Benefit Hoola. This is a really great dusty plum blush. Absolutely love this blush. These two are a bit more on the like peachy pink side. And then these last two are kind of like sheer powders that are just really great as a finishing powder or even as a light highlight, just to give your skin a little bit of a like a luminosity. But I love all of these products, so I'm going to be keeping all 6 of them. Moving on to cream and liquid products. So these are all of the ones that I have. This is the Benefit Benetint. It is just a liquid, kind of like a red liquid tint. I do like this, but I'm gonna say goodbye to it because I never use it, and I do find that it can be a little bit tricky to apply. You have to be very quick. You can't let it sit on your skin or else it will stain. So I'm gonna say goodbye to this one. The NARS Multiple in Orgasm. I really love the blush in Orgasm from NARS, but I rarely ever use this multiple. I've had it for probably 3 or 4 years now, and I just never ever use it. So I'm going to say goodbye to this, even though it breaks my heart because it was pretty expensive, and I do like the formulation of the NARS Multiple. It's essentially like a cream version of the powder blush, but I just never use it, so I'm gonna say goodbye to this. I have 2 cream blushes from Bourjois. This one is in Healthy Glow number 2, and this is Rose Tender number 3. I like both of these. I like the color, I like the formulation of these products, so I'm going to keep both of these. This is the Model Co Cheek and Lip Tint. Again, I'm gonna say goodbye to this. It's a very similar shade to the Benefit Benetint, but this one is just a little bit more on the berry side, but I never reach for it, so I'm going to say goodbye to this one. The watercolor blusher from Etude House. This is in number 1 pink. This one I really like. I just recently picked this up. This is a very sheer pink color, but that's what I like about it. It's so easy to apply, and it's like kind of like a no fuss product, so I'm going to keep this one. This is the Smashbox Oh Glow. This is one of those gimmicky products that is supposed to change depending on, you know, how it mixes with your chemistry. I do like this. However, again, I'm gonna say goodbye to it. I don't like the texture of it anymore. It has a very silicone texture to it. I think I might have had this for a little bit too long, and I just don't feel like it's as effective as when I first bought it. So I'm going to say goodbye to this one. These two are the Revlon PhotoReady blushes. This one is in Pinched, which is kind of like a peachy nude color. The other one is in Coral Reef, which is a really vibrant coral. And then I also had another one in Flushed, which I believe I gave to my mom. These are great products, and they're very inexpensive. I think they're like $8 or $10 depending on where you buy them from, but I like them. The application is really nice, they're smooth, and I really like the colors. These two are from Maybelline. They're the Master Glaze by FaceStudio. They're pretty much like mini NARS multiples. This one is in Pink Fever, and this is Make a Mauve. They apply really nicely. I like the colors of both of them, and I'm definitely going to keep them because they're just really great cheek products. Moving on to the rest of my blushes, which are powder products from here on out. This is a little mini of the NARS blush in Super Orgasm. I do like this blush a lot actually, and I love the cute little mini packaging, so I will keep this one. I'm going to keep all of the NARS blushes because I like them a lot. I'm actually missing 2 of my blushes here, but these are what I have to show you guys. NARS Luster, which is a really beautiful shimmery apricot. I love to use this in the summer. It just adds a beautiful, you know, summer glow to your cheeks. NARS Deep Throat, which is a pinkier version of NARS Orgasm. Again, a really great blush color. NARS Dolce Vita, which is a rosy plum color. It's matte. I love this in the winter. It just adds a beautiful flushed look to the cheeks. NARS Torrid, which is a beautiful coral with a lot of gold shimmer in it, but it's so pretty on the cheeks. And then the last one I have here is NARS Taj Mahal. I don't know what is wrong with me, but I always seem to break my blush packages right at the hinge here, so the lid is always loose. But this is just a beautiful kind of burnt orange color. Again, this is a really great blush for the summer, but I have a naturally tan complexion, so I can pretty much pull this off whenever, but I really love this color. I think this one might be discontinued or only available on NARS.com, but I haven't seen it at Sephora in the last couple of years. These 2 blushes are from Bourjois. This one is in number 34 Rose d'Or, and this one is number 95 Rose de Jaspe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I like these blushes a lot. I am not a huge fan of the scent. They kind of smell like old lady-ish, but I do like the blushes. I do like the formulation of these. The pigmentation is good. The application is good. So I will be keeping both of these because I do really like them, and they perform pretty much exactly the same as Chanel blushes, but at a fraction of the price. This is a little mini Tarte Amazonian clay blush in Doll Face, so it's a really pretty pale pink color. I will keep this one because I do like the color of this blush, and it actually suits my skin tone really nicely. The Amazonian clay blush in Blissful. This one I'm going to say goodbye to because I'm not loving the color anymore. I used to really love this blush, but I just don't feel like it does anything for my complexion anymore, so I'm going to say goodbye to this one. The Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Tipsy. This one I absolutely love. I still love the bright coral, and it looks really great on my skin tone. These 2 Annabelle blushes were exclusive to Target Canada. So this one is in Sorbet, and then this one is in Sunset Glow. I do like the formulation of these a lot. I just never ever reach for them ever. This one is on the pink side and this one is on the coral. But again, I just never reach for them. So I'm going to say goodbye to both of these. This is a blush from Be a Bombshell. I got this in a Luxe box. So it's in the color Love Me, and it is a really pretty color and it's really nicely pigmented. It does have quite a bit of shimmer to it. Normally I don't mind the shimmer, but on this I feel like it just is a little bit too much. So I'm going to say goodbye to this one. Benefit Box Powder in Bella Bomba. This is the only one that I haven't deboxed, mainly because I don't have a palette to put it in, and if I were to debox it, it would be the only one in that palette. I really love this blush too. It's a very pretty pink. I rarely wear this, maybe because I kind of forget about it in my drawer, but I will keep this one. This blush is from Essence. Every once in a while they come out with a limited edition collection, so this one was from the Vintage District collection, so it's in number 1, it's Popular Art. I bought this because I am just drawn to this kind of color family with a peach and then kind of a rosy color. And when you do apply this on the cheeks, it's very pretty, but I'm going to say goodbye to this because I never use it. The next 4 products are from Marc. So these were actually all press samples. This is the Marc Blooming Pretty Highlighting Face Powder. This powder looks so pretty. It's such a beautiful powder, but I'm going to say goodbye to this because it's a bit too light for me. It kind of gives me an ashy look, like the yellow is a bit ashy on me, but I absolutely love just the look of it. I think it's so cute to look at. The MARC Island Beauty Face Compact. This one is really nice. This one I actually have used, so I will keep this one if I can get it open. It is a mixture of shades, so this is like a champagne shade, a peachy coral shade, and then a bronze shade. So it actually looks really beautiful on the skin, so I'm going to keep this one. The MARC Wonder Glow Blush and Glow. It is kind of like a peachy pink concoction, and it does have a bit of shimmer to it. I do like this, but I just don't use it on a regular basis, and I feel like it is a little bit too light for my skin tone, all mixed in together. Kind of gives me a bit of an ashy look, so I'm going to say goodbye to this one. The MARC Chic Frills Powder Blush. Again, beautiful packaging. I normally gravitate towards this kind of color in blush, but this has a bit of a sheen to it that doesn't agree with my skin tone, so I'm going to say goodbye to this one too. I have been rediscovering the Clinique brand, especially with their new cheek pops and also lip color pops. I have two cheek pops here, and I'm going to keep both of them because I love them a lot. So this one is in ginger and this one is in fig. I love the formulation of these blushes. They have really great color selection, and I would definitely pick up more of these blushes. But these are the ones that I kind of gravitated to the most. So again, I'm going to keep both of these. Clinique Blushing Blush in Precious Posy. I am absolutely obsessed with this blush color. It is a pinky peach with a bit of gold shimmer. It reminds me a little bit of NARS Orgasm. That's probably why I love it, but I'm definitely going to keep this. I have two Laura Mercier blushes here. I'm going to keep both of them because I like both of them, and I like the formulation and I like the colors. The first one is in Lush Nectarine, which is a beautiful peachy coral. The other one is in Lotus Pink, which is a warm pink color. So both of these are really great, and I love the formulation of these blushes. They just don't come in a lot of shades. I have a MAC blush here that is still in its original packaging, although now I might depot it and put it into the empty slot in my MAC palette. But this is in the shade Peaches, a really great matte peach color. I love this on the cheeks, especially in the summertime, so I'm going to keep this one. Physicians Formula Nude Wear Blush. I really like this blush a lot. I think this is in the color Natural, but I love the mixture of shades. There's some warmer shades and then some pinky coral shades. This just looks so good on the skin, so I'm going to keep this one. Giorgio Armani in Eccentrico. I think it's number 509. Really love this color, super pigmented, but it's just such a beautiful color on. You do have to work with it a little bit because, again, it's very pigmented, so you can go easily wrong with this, but it's such a beautiful color, so I'm going to keep this. This is a blush from Illamasqua. It's just a very pretty kind of neutral rosy beige color. I do like this blush a lot. I kind of forgot about it in my collection, but I really like it. The powder is really finely milled, and it applies beautifully and just adds a really nice kind of rosy glow to the skin, surprisingly. I have a Chanel blush here. This was part of a limited edition collection a few years ago. This is the Blush Horizon de Chanel. It's the one with the various stripes. I do like this a lot. It is really beautiful on. Again, I kind of forgot about this because you just have, you accumulate so many blushes and you forget about some of the other ones. But I really like this, so I'm going to keep this. A couple more CoverGirl blushes. These are the Clean Glow Bronzer and Blusher. This one is in number 100 Roses. I love the colors of this, but I just don't feel like they're pigmented enough, really. So I'm going to say goodbye to this one. This one is dubbed as a bronzer. It's in number 120 Spices, but I tried using this as a bronzer, but it's not pigmented enough for that. It does work well as a blush, but again, it's not really very pigmented, so you have to apply layers and layers of it on. So I'm going to say goodbye to this one too. These three are from Maybelline. They are the Master Highlight by FaceStudio. I will be honest and say I've only tried one of these. So I've only tried this one here, which is in number 10 Nude, but it's really pretty on the skin. I love the formulation. It's actually really smooth and buttery. So I'm going to keep these three because I haven't even tried the other two yet. These I got as a press sample. so I'm going to keep them for now and just revisit them later. I'm going to keep all 3 of these Hourglass blushes because I love the formulation of these and I love the colors that I have. The first one is Radiant Magenta. I really like this one. It adds a beautiful glow to the cheeks. The next one is Mood Exposure. This one is probably my favorite out of the 3 that I have. I just really love this like plummy brown color. This shade also looks beautiful on the skin. You don't think it would because it's kind of, you know, boring in the pan, but it's so pretty on. And then the last one is in Diffused Heat, which is more of a peachy coral color. And again, I love these blushes. I love the formulation of them and they apply so beautifully. So I'm going to keep all 3 of these. These are the last little group of blushes. So this one is the Dior Healthy Glow. And again, I broke this packaging here right where the hinge is, so the lid is a bit wiggly. But this is a beautiful color. It's one of those gimmicky ones, again, that's supposed to transform to the perfect pink for you when you apply it. But I just really love this color, and I actually don't have a color like this in my collection at the moment. So I think it goes without saying, but I'm going to be keeping this one. The last 3 are Burberry blushes, and I'm going to keep all 3 of these because, again, I really love the formulation of these and I love the colors that I have. The first one is in Blossom, which is a very bright coral with a bit of shimmer to it, not too much, but I love this color a lot. It's just a really great kind of pick-me-up color. Next is the blush in Cameo. Now this is one of my favorite blushes. It's just a beautiful dusty rose color, which is just a shade that I really gravitate towards. I love this blush a lot. And then the last one is in Tangerine, which again is just right up my alley. It's kind of like a brownie peach color, but again, so beautiful on the skin. I really love Burberry blushes. They're one of my favorite blush formulations. Again, a little sneak peek at how I am going to store my blushes going forward. So I'm going to store them in a Muji drawer like this. It's a bit easier, and then I can actually see my products and they're not tucked away in a drawer. So these are the blushes that I will be keeping, so still quite a few. I also have some that don't fit in the drawer. I have to put in a different one. And then these are the products that I am going to be saying goodbye to. So again, I did not do as well as I thought I would do, or as well as I hoped I would do in decluttering my blush stash, but I think I did a fairly decent job in decluttering my blushes. So there is one product that I've had a change of heart on, and also a whole palette that I kind of forgot about. So this Tarte little mini blush in Doll Face, I don't know, I'm going to say goodbye to this because I just don't feel like the color suits me as well as I thought I did when I was going through my actual declutter. So this one I'm going to say goodbye to. Maybe my mom will want it, so I'm going to see if she wants this. And then this MAC palette. So I just found this actually while I was going through my products, and I depotted a few things in here really. This side used to hold loose pans of blushes, but I've already gotten rid of all of those. I should have showed you guys, but there's probably like 4 or 5 different blushes in here from different brands, some high-end, some drugstore, and I just got rid of all of them because On the flip side here is just some stuff that I depotted. So it's a mixture of blushes and also lipsticks. So I know I haven't gotten to the lipsticks yet. That will be my next declutter likely, but I do have some products in here. A couple of them are drugstore, so Revlon and also Maybelline. This one is MAC Ruby Woo, which I depotted because I broke the tube. And then here are some cream blushes. These are actually the Revlon blushes, and as you saw, I have little round pots of each of these. So I'm just going to say goodbye to this entire palette actually. When I first got this palette, I was just absolutely obsessed with it. I thought it was like the best thing since sliced bread, but honestly I never use it, and I much prefer the other MAC palettes that I have with the glass top. I just feel like it's so much nicer to actually be able to see your products rather than have this like solid bulky palette. So I'm just going to say goodbye to this entire palette, but I thought I would mention it because I mean technically it had some blushes in it, so it kind of goes along with this declutter in a way. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this installment of my decluttering series. Stay tuned for my next one, which again will likely be lipsticks and lip glosses and all of that fun stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!